Entonces, continuamos y vamos a dar la bienvenida ya a nuestro siguiente invitado, es Levon Kameryan, Analistas de Scope Ratings. Levon, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you to join us with us in this morning. How could a long-term supply outage from Russia impact Europe? Which countries will be most affected? What is the situation in Spain?
So, in our view, the European Union would likely be able to withstand a large-scale disruption to Russian gas supplies in the near term. This could be done by importing more liquefied natural gas, LNG, for example, from the US and Qatar, and also using the gas in the storages. However, total European gas in storages is already quite low, at slightly more than 30% of the full capacity compared to 40% 1 year ago. And this means that a longer halt of Russian gas could quickly deplete these remaining reserves. And in this scenario, price increases of energy products could significantly affect the European economic recovery. Keeping in mind that Russia supplies around 35% of the gas that EU consumes annually. The impact, however, could be different across the EU countries. This is going to depend on the level of exposure to Russian gas and also the structure of energy consumption. For example, countries like Germany or Hungary, they have a high proportion of natural gas in their energy consumption and are also heavily reliant on gas imports from Russia. However, on the other hand, Spain is much less reliant on natural gas imports from Russia, as it imports more gas from countries like Algeria. And also Spain, together with France, is among the largest importers of LNG in the EU. Having said this, however, it's very difficult to predict the exact impact, as some of it could be potentially mitigated depending on how well the EU energy market is able to redistribute supplies, extra gas supplies across the countries.
What is the situation in Spain?
So yeah, as I already said, in case of Spain, the reliance on Russian gas is much less. As of December, imports from Russia accounted for only around 10% of overall imports. So if it comes to large-scale disruption of Russian gas supplies, Spain would probably be much less impacted than other EU countries who rely much more on Russia for their gas consumption.
What steps are needed to improve Europe's long-term energy security and sustainability?
So, to be sure, EU has already taken several significant steps to strengthen the energy markets. The security and sustainability of energy supply is high up on the policy-making agenda on the EU. And the European Union has also been funding the EU's security of energy supply, and examples include financing of Baltic states, connection to continental Europe's gas and electricity networks, which will happen in the next few years. However, as European countries are transitioning towards carbon neutral economies over the coming decades, the importance of the EU to coordinate these energy policies across the member states is going to increase. But sometimes it is politically difficult to do so, given the different starting points in terms of energy production, in terms of reliance on nuclear power, in terms of reliance on gas, and to give you an example, Germany still relies on heavily on fossil fuels, and which produces around 3/4 of its energy needs, as opposed to France, where large nuclear power stations result in much lower reliance on fossil fuels. Hence, as a result, a closely coordinated EU-wide energy strategy will be important to improve longer-run energy security in the EU. And it's going to be important not only to diversify energy sources and suppliers on the country level, but on EU level. And this will ultimately increase energy resilience of the EU, not only considering geopolitical developments, but also climate change.
And one more question. What will the proposed inclusion of natural gas and nuclear energy in the European Union taxonomy mean for the EU?
So the planned inclusion of natural gas in the EU taxonomy reflects that gas is going to be an important transition fuel for the EU during its transition into a low-carbon economy. Therefore, the European reliance on imported gas could increase in the medium run, also because the use of coal to generate electricity is being phased out, and also domestic gas production continues to fall, mostly because the production from the Netherlands Groningen gas field is expected to end soon. As a result, we will likely see, and we actually already see, acceleration in the European efforts to diversify sources of energy, diversify also sources of gas suppliers. But the reliance on Russian gas during this transitional period is likely to remain significant. And as for nuclear power, there are arguments for labeling nuclear power as a green energy source, which could support EU's energy independence and security. And this would have positive implications, especially for France, and also for some of the Central and Eastern European countries, such as Slovakia or Czech Republic or Hungary, where nuclear power accounts for over half of electricity generation on average.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Levon Kameryan, Analistas de Scope Ratings, thank you for being with us. Good day and good business.
Thank you.
Y nosotros hacemos una pausa para publicidad y enseguida volvemos.